Dear students, if you have understood the sentence structure properly, then in even if there are 40 things that I'm going to teach you, out of those 40 things, there are 3 things which are important, and one of those 3 things is the one that I'm going to teach you today. So the basic sentence structure to make at the simple level, for some it might be the repetition as well. You have to understand that there is subject plus verb plus object. Now this little thing, but you have to understand this thing in a systematic manner. Subject, verb and object. For this, I have already taught you the table of ish, mish, mere, ish, mish, mere, do, dish, dear, sie, ihnen, er, ihn, ihm, es, sie, wir, sie, ihr, wir, uns, ihr, euch, wir, uns, sie, ihnen. This table, ish, mish, mere, do, dish, dear, this basic table, you will find the Almighty in this table, which means that this table is so important that it should be on your tips. Ish, mish, mere, do, dish, dear. This first portion of this table, this first initial part, this is actually the subject. Today I'm going to call it as subject, but in the few days to come I will also call it as a nominative part of it. So you can understand that we talk about the subject. At times I might also call it nominative. Yeah, then you understand it is the nominative or the subject, the same thing. So either I call it subject or nominative. When I talk about object, or whether I call it accusative or dative case, accusative, I would call it akkusativ at times, so that you get to know that there is a German teacher who has come to teach you. And at times I will call this object in the form as dative or dativ. I will explain you this. This is object and so is the other one. So in this table, the first one, which is subject, the first line is of the subject, and the second line which is for the object, and so is the third line. The second one is object, and the third line is also for the object. The second line object we will consider as accusative. This is the one that we call accusative, that is also object. And the third one is dative or dativ, which is again object. This means that if I am to translate this in English, it is I for ish, sie is they, then sie is you, which is a formal way to address someone. Ihr is informal, do is again informal, you. It is an informal way to address someone. Ihr means you all or you both, we means we, then sie means she, S means it, and er means he. I, ish is I, that you see here at the top. I'll just put it I, you, he, it, she, we, you. You here, as I've explained, it means you all or you both, which is informal. This is you, which is formal, you. And the position of the verb, for the moment you can understand that if the subject has ish, let's imagine if the verb is kochen, which means to cook, so the verb ending is en. For the moment, you have to understand that en, which is the ending, if the subject is ish, then we have the ending as e. In do we have st. In air it is t, then t, then t, then en, then t, then en, and then en in the end. This way we will put the endings. So first we'll have the subject. After that there will be a verb, and then there can be an object. It is possible that the object isn't there. So let's say if the sentence is I am cooking, and someone is asking who is cooking the food, and who is cooking the food is the question, and I say I am cooking. Ish koke. Cooking itself means to cook. So the sentence will become ish koke. So with ish, I know that whatever the verb is which has an en as a ending, but here I will change it to make e in the end. So ish koke, I am cooking. Now furthermore, whatever I am cooking food. Ish koke. This is the sentence. Verb will be at times koken, sometimes makhan, sometimes sagan, sometimes ragan. In this way, you will have a lot of verbs so that you can identify. And verbs ending, in German, you have 99.9%. I will clarify, 99.9% it is going to be en ending. Whether it is, but it is possible that there are some exceptions, but very rarely it will happen. But largely it is going to finish in en, so you take it as a final thing. En ending for the verb, you have to memorize this formula at the beginning so that you can start making sentences. So subject, you already got to know that subject is going to be either someone's name or it is going to be from this list. It cannot be anything else. Either someone is going to say I am coming, or Dev Karan is coming, or the teacher is coming, or for some lady we would say she is coming, he is coming, they are coming, Ram and Mohan are coming, they are not coming. So ultimately there will be a subject either from the list or someone's name, but nothing else from that. Verb, as I've already told you, the verb whether it is I want to use the verb wear clothes, or to eat, or to sleep, or to drink, then we can go to the dictionary that is online, dig.cc, and we can find any verb from there. It's not a big deal, you can easily find any verb, but most importantly you should know how you have to use it. So the verb that you conjugate according to the subject. One thing I would like to repeat for you: ish, do, er, es, sie, wir, ihr, sie, and sie. I am repeating it again. Ich koche, du kochst, and the sie is kochen. Kochen, you can see it. These are the endings that we have just seen. So the verb is kochen. We take kok as a root, and what we are going to use as the endings. So you see with er, s and z, we have t, t and t. So you have er kocht, es kocht, and z kocht. With wir, we have again kochen, because we have the ending en. So it is kochen, wir kochen. And with ihr, we have kocht. This formula, e, s, t, 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 en, t, en, and en. And with kochen, we do this way, and similarly with machen, ich mache, du machst, er macht. You can go in the similar manner with fragen as well. The ending like e, s, t, 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 en, t, en is going to stay similar. Now comes the important part, that is the object. Now, if you get to know how to use the object, then you can learn this thing in a better way. It is very important to know how to use object. As in this case, we have seen the personal pronouns ish, vish, mir. So we should know the meaning that it is me, myself to me, he, himself to him, she, herself to her. That is how you have to use it. You have to get to know if it is neutral, feminine, masculine, and you would use accordingly. And then we, ourselves, to us. you, to you both, yourself, they, then to them, and then. So this whole combination is going to be understood by you, but this verb, this is actually cannot be done because it is also divided into three categories. So as you see, the personal pronoun that you have, so as we have three categories of personal pronouns, we have three categories. Subject, we can use it in the form of, we can also use it in the form of object. How in the form of object? Let's see, I visit you is a sentence. We are not going to make the sentence, I'm just going to show you, I visit you. And I'm going to say, you visit me. We'll learn the sentences later. So you visit me. So this you and that you, these both are different. They are not the same ones. Here in the second one, you visit me, this you is the subject and me I am the object. Object means the one on whom the action is going to be performed. So object is over there, the person is at the place. So here the subject is you. In the previous sentence, I visit you, you is not the subject. It means that this you and this you is, they both are different. But here the subject is you, so perhaps I am talking about do. But in the first one, I visit you, this you could be dish or deer. That is the most important thing that has to be understood. Would it go in the accusative case or dative case? For example, in the personal pronouns, you have got the subjects, you have got objects in the accusative sense, and you have got in dative sense objects. But in nominative, accusative and dative cases, you have to understand the clarity among these three. So in subject form, you have to have the first line. But in case of object, you have got either accusative or dative, and you have to pick between the two, the right one. So whether it's going to be object which is accusative or dative, that is going to be decided by the verb. So all the verbs in German language, they are in three categories. Either they are nominative, or they are accusative, or they are in dative form. It has to be one among the three categories. It can never happen in any other fourth category. So you have nominative, accusative, or dative. So what will happen is that once you have got to know that the verb is in such category, then you can have the specific case. I will teach you how it is going to happen. For example, when you know about the verb, when you look at it, you get to know it is nominative. For example, when you look at your friend, you say, oh, this is Papu, oh, that's Suresh. And how do you do that? There are so many people in the world. How do you get to know, oh, see, that's Suresh? Because you have already seen him. You have seen him over and over again. In a single go, you can see him. And sometimes you don't even see him, but you listen to him and you get to know about him. Because in this case, we'll have to see because verbs don't speak. So you have to get to know about the verb immediately the moment you see them. You have got so many verbs, they might look similar, but they are different, so you have to categorize them. So their identification is very important. Oh, they are all similar. For people also we might consider that. But people have to get to know that similarly verbs have to be categorized in these different categories and we have to be friends with them. But in a very smooth way, you'll be able to get to know about it. Now in nominative case, there might be 50,000 verbs, but some would be nominative, some would be in the second category and some would be in the third category. So you don't have to worry much. So in the nominative case, in German we have got just 4 verbs and only 4 verbs, and these are, we have got sein, heißen, werden and bleiben. These 4 verbs in German you have to memorize, and then your nominative thing is over for the time being. You'll have to just understand these 4 verbs and they will stay forever 4 verbs. The nominative verbs is this one. Now if you move to the accusative verb category, alright, I'll just repeat. You have got nominative verb category, accusative and dative. So nominative, accusative and dative are the 3 categories of verbs, and in nominative if you have got just 4 of these kind, so some would be in the accusative case, case, some would be in the dative case. So the remaining ones after these four would either fall in accusative or dative. So if I in few days teach you how to make sentences in German, so I am pass. As a teacher, I've done my responsibility, right? I have cleared my test. So you have to understand that, I get clear, I do my work nicely. Then what am I good for if I am not able to succeed in my job of passing on this information to you? So my name is Dev Karan. So people would say Devji is pass, which means Devji has cleared his responsibility. So it is Devji. Devji, I'll repeat, is pass. So Devji hai pass. Devji hai pass. If you have to understand how to make sentences, so if this short form of Devji hai pass is the short form of dative verbs. So D stands for Duncan, Esgate, Folgen, Gehören, Gratulieren, Gefallen, Helfen, Passen, Passieren,
ये वर्ब आपको लर्न करनी है.
Antworten
ये वर्ब आपको दिख जाए.
and Schmecken.
ये dative verbs हैं सारी. ये वर्ब दिख जाए.
These verbs you'll have to learn. Devji hai pass. That's a short form to memorize. If you know these verbs, these are all the dative verbs and these are the nominative verbs, and all the verbs apart from these two categories would fall in the accusative case. These verbs either dative or nominative and the rest are accusative. So sein means to be, heißen means to be called, werden means to become. We'll conjugate them later on, don't worry about it. Bleiben means to stay. How they are going to be used, I will let you know later. But for the moment, learn these four verbs and the dative ones also you have to memorize. I'll tell you what do they mean. Duncan means to thank someone. Esgate, for asking someone's well-being. To tell and to ask. Only for this case is that we use this construction. Alright? Esgate.
To ask for well-being.
To ask someone's well-being.
क्या हालचाल है? उसी के लिए काम में आएगी ये वर्ब. Folgen का मतलब.
Alright. Moving to the next one. So, if you have to ask someone's well-being, let's again see esgate. So you would only use for asking someone's well-being, and folgen means to follow.
Gratulieren, to congratulate.
Gehören, it means to belong to.
Gefallen, पसंद आना.
Gratulieren, it means to congratulate.
करना नहीं है ये. करना कुछ और होता है. पसंद आना. मैंने कोई चीज देखी.
Gefallen,
मैं तो उसको शायद लाने गया भी नहीं था.
to like.
आना. It pleases me. To please लिख सकते हो आप.
So gefallen means that
Is to help.
you like something.
Passen is to fit.
It pleases me. To please, yeah, you can put it in a better way, to please.
To suit.
To please someone. And next is helfen, which means to help. Passen means to
It fits me. ऐसे.
to fit or to suit.
To happen.
This time suits me. This dress suits me.
Answer.
It suits me. It fits me. In this way you can use passen. Passieren is to happen.
Schmecken is to taste.
Antworten is to answer.
It tastes good. It tastes not so good.
Schmecken is to taste.
ये कैटेगरी हो गई.
It tastes good. It doesn't taste good.
Devji है pass. Dative verbs.
Now this is the category that you have from nominative and then dative.
Akkusativ.
Devji hai pass. That's a way to memorize the dative verbs. For nominative you have got sein, heißen, werden and bleiben. And what is left is accusative.
Akkusativ, dativ, nominative. आपको meaning याद
Now after having written these verbs, if someone asks you,
but
which verb is this one, then
तो अभी आप
you have to just look at it and you have to get to know if it is nominative, dative or accusative. Maybe you would take this complete weekend to identify what this verb is. But even just now in this class, after a few minutes, you would be able to recognize the verb and the category of the verb. So I'm going to ask you this right away.
ऐसे देखो इसको
So take some seconds, just look at the board, observe these verbs, and then you would be asking yourself, and I'll be checking with you if you could tell me if you have nominative verbs or dative verbs, and the verbs that are not figuring in either of the lists, then that would fall in the accusative category.
gratulieren
For the moment, this is the only formula to memorize these verbs.
passieren antworten
Danken, escaped, folgen, gehören, gratulieren, gefallen, helfen, passen, passieren, antworten, schmecken.
all the remaining
These are all dative verbs. And for nominative we have sein, heißen, werden, bleiben. These are all nominative verbs.
akkusativ
And all the remaining verbs fall in the category of accusative verbs. Besuchen, accusative. Nehmen, accusative. Fragen, accusative. Bringen, accusative.
akkusativ kaufen इसमें नहीं दिख रही तो आप
For the moment we have just done this bit. Nominative, accusative and dative, so that we get to know about the verb. Kaufen, again accusative, because it's not falling neither in nominative nor in dative, so automatically it goes in the category of accusative. So you have to remember there are three categories of verbs: nominative, accusative, dative, and anything that is apart from nominative and dative that falls in the category of accusative. That's how you start learning German verbs. Do not worry. So are you all ready? So take 30 seconds more, then I'll ask you. Devjihepas. That's a way to memorize the dative verbs. Gehören, gratulieren. You can even repeat it, you can just pronounce it once for yourself.
dative verb
Passen. Even you should be able to recognize when someone says these verbs to you.
देखिए हैं पास
It is same passen if someone else says.
और p दो बार
Dative.
passen
Schmecken. Passieren. Devjihepas.
स्क्रीन चेंज कर दो
P is 2 times, G is 3 times.
antworten
So this is a technique to memorize these verbs.
antworten
So, can I change the screen? So, antworten, if you see, yeah, this one, antworten.
स्क्रीन चेंज करूंगा मैं
So it means to answer. Antworten.
पूछूंगा
That's A-N-T-W-O-R-T-E-N. That's how you write in German.
ओके
Alright, now I'm going to change the screen.
केवल इतना बताओगे इससे
And then I'm going to ask you the category of the verbs. Schmecken.
मक्खन
Alright. Now,
लाखन
you have to just tell me. We're not going into the sentence construction.
बच्चा बोल गया उसका
So I'll just ask you the verbs.
उसी को बोलने का राइट है जो
So let's say the verb kochen. Where would it fall? Lachen.
बिजूखन
So there's some background score. Please put it on off. Only the person who knows the answer would unmute and say the answer to me. Suchen.
हेंकन
That's accusative. Besuchen. That's accusative.
Yes, sir.
Haben.
से तो एक ही था ओके
So this is going to be. So please tell me. The next one is Duncan. Denken. So Duncan is dative, whereas Denken is.
has to be accusative because
What do you think, Denken? Yeah, gehören.
okay
That is.
I even thought.
Yeah. This one is dative. Yeah, correct.
okay
Then we have hören.
जाइन
Where will it fall? It has to be accusative because we did not see it. This in the category of dative verbs,
Dative.
right?
पासन
All right. Alright, moving ahead. I'll take another verb. Sein.
अरफासन
Nominative. Yes, absolutely. We saw it in that category. Then we have Duncan.
पता चल रहा है ना?
Dative, right?
तो याद होंगे जब हम
Then person.
देखेंगे पता तो चल रहा है यार ये तो
Again,
ये तो इधर था।
dative,
इतना तो आइडिया
right?
है आपको।
Yes.
Then we have erfassen.
इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि आपको अगर वर्ब
Accusative. Okay. You're getting to know about it. So, meaning whenever you'll get to know, but when you look at it, you get to know which category does it fall into. Yeah, so that's something that's very interesting, that you're getting to know about verbs. Now this means that if you see a verb, you get to know whether it is nominative, accusative or dative. So I'll again rewrite on the table. Ish, do, air, s, see, where, ear, z, and z. This is ear, this is air. Like the sound is just like air, right? So air, that's the same sound. Alright, here, ish, do, air, s, z, where. You'll have to memorize the pronunciation. Then ear, z, and z in the end. This is for I, this is for you, he, it, she in English, but z in German, then we, then you all, then you as a formal one, and they for plural. And with these, whatever the conjugation is going to be, we'll write the table, ish, mish, mir.
यहाँ पे ear oish oish बोलना है। कईयों को ये
Then we have do, dish, dear,
आदत नहीं पड़ेगी। Ear oish oish।
s, s, in,
Z z inan
air, in,
and Z z inan।
z, z, ear, where, uns.
हम लोग क्या
Over
करेंगे
here,
यहाँ पे?
ear, oish is what we're going to write. Ear, oish. That's an exceptional thing. Z, z, innen,
और second और third
and in the end, z, z, innen.
काम में आएंगे।
Alright, z, z, innen. Now what we're going to do over here, the personal pronouns that we have, this we use as a subject.
Accusative और dative।
The first one we use as a subject,
बोले यार object
and the second and third we use as an object in a sentence. This is subject. We also call it nominative. This is object, and the third one is also object. This is accusative, and this is dative. Now the names as such, because you would get confused if you just call them object, so you better call them accusative, so that we get to know. And the last one is dative. Now how you're going to make it in a sentence? So first and foremost we have subject,
वर्ब dative आ रही है
then we have verb.
तो ये object है
If the verb is accusative,
dative आएगा
then object is going to be accusative as well. The object over here is going to be from the same category of
अब जैसे मान लो मैं
accusative. If
help
the verb is dative,
वर्ब का conjugation वगैरह मैं आराम से
then object is also going to be dative.
अगर मान लो मेरे को इतना
Right.
लगाना है I
Subject is going to be there always in any of the sentences. For example, let's say
accusative dative में से कौन सी कैटेगरी की है
I help you. For the moment, you can do the conjugation of the verb
help and dative
later on with some time. I
तो इसका
help
मतलब कि dative
you is a very simple sentence that I'm taking.
और you जो है
So please tell me help would fall in which category?
ये आएगा
Nominative, accusative or dative? Tell me.
तो ये
Yeah, tell me. Are you sure? Dative?
देश
Helpful if is dative, then the object that will be used after dative verb is going to be
इसलिए किया मैंने
from the list of dative objects. So you will be using you from the list of dative objects, which is dear. So ish, helpful, dear.
क्योंकि ये वर्ब dative
This helpful we're using because we have to conjugate it with ish. So we put e in the end. Ish kokhe, for example, ish makhe. In the similar manner, ich helfe. But the object, we use it from the dative category because the verb is dative. Exactly. And why the verb is dative? Why? Because it is not accusative. Neither it is accusative nor it is nominative. It is dative. The reason being. And if I say, I visit you, besuchen verb, tell me which category does it fall into? I visit you. I visit. Visit is called besuchen. So these are new verbs that are coming our way. So I'm writing it for you. Besuchen. You just tell me if it is falling in nominative, accusative or dative. Yes, you're right. So now, if it is not falling neither in nominative nor dative, then of course it falls in accusative category, right, for the moment. So, you know, these were 4 verbs in nominative and those certain verbs in dative. If it doesn't fall in either of the categories, then it would go for accusative. So, now you have to understand that besuchen, if is written, then it goes into the category of accusative, and then the object is going to be accusative as well. So, I visit you. Please tell me how would you do it in German? Ich besuche. And now you have to see the you. Right. So, now you have to go to the category of you. And since besuchen is accusative, so of course this is you. All the 3 are you. Do, dish and dir. But the first do is subject. This is you are visiting. So this is the doer, subject. And this is the subject. And for accusative verb we have dish, which is the object, and in dative condition it is going to be dear. So all the 3 words in English are you, but they all are different in German. So ich besuche dich. This is accusative. So we'll have the object accusative. You must be thinking, oh, I'm understanding, not completely, but don't worry, whatever you're understanding is great. But at your place, you would go back and you would redo it, and you will get to know you have already understood so much. Once you will run through these once again, what happens sometimes is that, why am I taking this at this very outset? So that you get to know about these objects and subjects on this day of Friday. Because, you know, some people at times they come to me and say that please tell me how to make sentences, but how would you make unless you get to know about these lists? So some people don't want to learn the lists and they would say that we just want to learn the sentences, but you cannot do it unless you have gone through that short form of dativ, which was for the dative category, and then see that how quickly you can make sentences. And in this way, one by one, you can learn things systematically. You won't be scared. Ich besuche dich, because the verb besuchen is accusative. If suppose, let's take the verb brauchen. Brauchen means to need. To need. If I say, I need you, I need you. So what will I say? Ich brauche dich, because I need you. So in this case, the verb brauchen falls in the accusative category. There's another verb, lieben, to love. Lieben, to love. Which category does it fall into? Accusative, because it's not in dative, neither in nominative. That means it is into accusative category. For example, if I say I love you, ich liebe dich. Have you already memorized this one? Or you've just guessed it right away? Are you understanding? Lieben is accusative, so we have put dich. Alright? They love me. If I have to give you a sentence, they love me. Let's see, how do you make this one? So you would say, alright. So they're loving me this time, right? They love me. So sie lieben,
बट वर्ब एक्कुजेटिव
and me will become
बोलते हैं ना, I, me, to me.
mish. Mish. Why mish? Because they love me. Me, when I'm saying me, I'm talking about I. So, but then again, lieben verb is
लेकिन जब
accusative, although these three are all I,
तो ये देखेंगे
or me for that matter.
तो लीव
I, me, to me.
तो इसलिए
They love me. I, this is me.
जी
I and me, they are, they're talking about myself, me. But when I is used as an object, then if we would look at the verb, if the verb is lieben, which is accusative, then you would go for the category of mish. If you have to talk about yourself, which is me. And if I have to say, I love them,
के लिए जी बोल रहे हो आप
I love them.
कौन सा
So how do you do that? You would say,
ये वाला जी है क्या
ich
ये वाला
liebe
ये ये
es sie. Sie.
ये वाला
Which sie is it?
एक्कुजेटिव
Is it this one?
क्यों है ये एक्कुजेटिव
At the last one? This one? This one? In the middle? Even?
यस करेक्ट
So tell me which one? This one? This one? Accusative? Yes, true. That's correct. Accusative. But why? Why? Because the verb lieben is
उसको भी
exactly
वर्ब के हिसाब से बिहेव करना
object would be from the same category because the verb is accusative. Please do not doubt yourself.
वो वर्ब से
You're right.
वो सब वर्ब
When the verb is accusative, so of course you would use the object in the same form which is accusative.
बाद में आती है
Right.
पहले ही आ चुका तो ये
So object has to behave in accordance with the verb.
लेकिन ये
Now.
नहीं है कि अपने आगे वाले को अपने हिसाब से चलाती
Now will the subject also get decided by the verb?
है और आप कहो तो
No, not at all because
चलाना चाहिए
it doesn't depend. It is just the conjugation that we would do according to the subject.
आता है वो अगले
Because the subject already exists,
बापू जी घर में अपन को अपने हिसाब
but the verb always takes into consideration the object according to itself.
सब्जेक्ट इश पहले ही आ गया तो वो कहते हैं कि ये
You might say that the subject pronoun can also control the verb. Yes, it does because you have to conjugate the verb accordingly.
तो क्या होगा
You know,
यू लव मी
someone who comes before in the world as well controls the other person. It's the same thing. So here we see that when ish is in the first place, it gets the conjugation done according to ish. So ich liebe, du liebst, you love me.
मिश मिश क्योंकि यू लव मी
Let's see this construction.
मिश हो गया
Du
डू लिव्स मिश ओके और आई लव यू
liebst, st because there is du liebst,
मैं तुमको प्यार करता हूँ और कोई बोले मैं आपको
mich because you love me.
बोल दिया तो
So me becomes mich. Du liebst mich. Alright. And if it were I love you,
आ जाएगा क्योंकि आप फॉर्मल वाला
it will be ich liebe dich.
इसी बोलते हैं क्योंकि
I love you. And if someone says,
तो ये हुआ
I love you with respect,
ऑब्जेक्ट
ich liebe,
डू डिश डियर
then we will have this one because it is you formal, ich liebe sie. But normally we say ich liebe dich, but then that is also possible. So this is, we have understood how to identify the verb ich mich mir, du dich dir, if, let's say,
अब मैं वापस
right,
पूछूंगा कि वर्ब
so
लगता है क्या कि ये वर्ब
there's a question,
डाटिव है मैं वर्ब लिखूंगा
they love me, sie lieben mich.
बता देना है akkusativ dativ nominativ
Now, I'm again asking you, you look at the verb and can you identify if the verb is accusative, nominative or dative?
आ जाएगी भाई गलती
What would you respond to me?
वो काम भी करेंगे अपन ठीक है अभी भी नहीं होगी
That, are you capable now of identifying if the verb is accusative, dative or nominative by looking at it?
और बताओ आप तो ये कौन सी कैटेगरी की है
I think yes, now you are capable enough. So in the next class, you will understand it in a better way, right? I mean, in the next class you won't have any problems, but I'm sure from now onwards it's clear to you.
ठीक है, चलो ये कौन सी फॉर्म है? यूरिन,
Alright.
Accusative.
Now you tell me this verb, denken, which category does it fall into?
और मिलती जुलती तो
So this is,
तो अपन सही है.
it is accusative.
Dative.
Because in dative we had seen Duncan, right?
ग्राफ हम दिखे आपको.
Now this one, herein,
Accusative.
tell me,
ओके जी,
accusative. Yes, because in dative we had herein.
अकुजाटिव.
Now don't say that these are similar verbs,
सुखन कोई वर्ब है, सुखन.
but they're different,
Accusative.
right? So, alright, if let's say another verb, treffen.
अकुजाटिव.
So, which verb is this? Which category? Accusative, right? Zingen, if we have this verb. Accusative, yeah, that's correct. Alright, we have suchen,
ट्रेफन का मतलब है
accusative. Besuchen, that is accusative.
डंकन इज,
Besuchen means to visit.
यूरिन इज,
Suchen means to search.
यूरिन इज टू बिलोंग.
And singen means to
मतलब ये हुआ ये
sing.
कोई भी वर्ब आए आप
Treffen means to
नॉमिनेटिव अकुजाटिव
to meet.
तो करना है,
Denken is
पहचान जाना है.
to think. And Duncan is
जरूरत नहीं है, ये मैं
to thank. Herein is
देखते ही आपको पता
to listen.
अब
Herein means
ये देखे
to belong to. This means that X, Y, Z, whatever verb you write, you get, you can easily identify which category does it fall into. So that's very important, right? Right. Don't write anything. I was just testing you if you're able to identify the category of the verb. Now I will come back to the same table. Ish, mish, meow. Please don't get bored because it doesn't matter much because I'm here to teach you. So we have to dish, dear. Then we have air, im, im. Then you have s, im. Then z, ear. Then you have wir, uns. Then ear, euch.
नॉमिनेटिव का मतलब ही सब्जेक्ट है.
Then sie,
अकुजाटिव
ihnen.
अचानक से
And then in the end we have again sie, ihnen.
ये तो इंग्लिश में थी ही नहीं. ऐसे कई लोग दिमाग लगा
Right.
कोई बात नहीं होगी, क्या पता अपन को इंग्लिश ही इतनी आ रही हो गई हो वहाँ भी.
So, nominative, accusative, and dative.
अब मान लो कोई
Now you understand nominative itself means the subject, accusative, and dative. These are the objects. If someone says at the very outset nominative, accusative, dative, then you might get confused. But now you have understood it well, so I can use them in the original form, which is nominative, accusative, and dative. So ish, mish, me is this table. Now suchen means to search. Now let's say someone wants to conjugate the verb suchen, so it is again est, t, then we have t, then en, then t, then en, and then en. So such is the root body that is going to be there every time, but we'll have the ending. If someone says, I'm searching you, where have you been? I'm searching you.
हो जाओ शुरू ना. ट्रांसलेशन करोगे तो
Alright, so we have
मैं समझ जाऊंगा ये कहाँ से करके ला रहा है.
ish,
ये इजारन का अलग से मत
and will you do anything for am? So searching, what about am? Nothing. In German, continuous and indefinite they are the same in German language. So am is already included in this one. So please do not put anything for am. When you translate it, do not make a mess out of it. Then I would also get to know how do you do it. So please don't do that way. So whenever you look at a sentence and you want to translate it through some online translation or Google, then it would end up in a wrong translation, because Google doesn't write times, right? Yeah, because we know more than Google. Yeah, so ish, zuke,
रवि के साथ क्या करूं.
dish, ish, zuke, dish. I am searching you.
क्या टी लगाऊं.
If I have to say, not, it's not me, it's Ravi who is searching you. So, Ravi, Zukhe,
रवि तो मैं
right, in English it is going to be Ravi is searching you. So you will be
स्टूडेंट होगा
writing Ravi.
मैं थोड़ी रवि हूँ इसके साथ
What am I going to write with?
पे लगेगा क्योंकि रवि
So what should I end?
तो रवि
As an ending it should be W E. It's going to be T because Ravi is air.
डिस करो
He is masculine. So Ravi, Dinesh, Suresh, they are all going to fall in the category of T. It's not me, right? So with ish you use E, but with air he is masculine, so you would put Ravi,
होने को तो ये
Zukt,
यू है लेकिन वर्ब कह रही
and for you you're going to use.
हूँ मैं मेरे आएगा ये तो
Tell me where am I going to put? Dish.
डिश अब
Why can't I put dear? Can't I do dear? Why? Yes, because of course it is accusative. With do it goes dish.
प्रेफर का क्या मतलब
All the three are you, right? But the verb says that please don't go to dative case, be with the accusative case. So it's going to be dish. Ravi zooked dish. Accusative. Because the verb is accusative. Now you get to know from the list Devji had passed, which showed us the dative category. Treffen. Treffen, what does that mean?
इस ट्रैफिक
Treffen means to meet.
इस ट्रैफिक
I
मैं उससे हर
I am meeting her.
कर रहा हूँ मैं कोई सी की
I am
आई
meeting
हो सकता है मैं
her.
बात कर रहा हूँ
So let's see how do you translate that in German.
इस ट्रैफिक
Ich and the verb is treffe. Ich treffe. Ich treffe.
और ये
Her is going to be some female person. She, right? As an object. I'm meeting her. So it might be that I'm meeting Sunita. I'm meeting Sita. So ich treffe
एस टी 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 उस तरीके से कर
sie.
सो इस ट्रैफिक जी
Why? Because this is feminine, that is neutral, and this is masculine, right?
दे आर मीटिंग मी
With masculine air, with neutral S, and for feminine it is Z. And with Z, you pick up the right object from the right category. And that is the operation of the verb by putting the right ending in the conjugation. Ich treffe sie. I meet her. If I have to say, they are meeting me. They
करने की बजाय अगर
are
दे आर हेल्पिंग
meeting me. So how do you do that? It will be Z. Our meeting will be treffen mich. Right? Is that okay?
मी तो है आपकी वर्बी तो क्या कर दूं
Instead of meeting, I say they are helping me.
कर दूं मिश अगर मैं मिश करूंगा तो आप
They are helping me.
दे
So what would the sentence be? It would be,
मी आएगा कि मिश आएगा सोच लो एक बार
so we will write Sie helfen me. Me.
तो मी
So it is going to be,
तो फिर तो मी रहा
right?
जी है
So do I do mish? I write mish, I sure?
हर बार
If I will put mish, you're going to miss something.
तो ऑब्जेक्ट
They are helping me. Mere, are you sure?
वर्ब नॉमिनेटिव है
Would it be mish or mere?
ठीक है ओके
Yeah? Are you sure? It is dative? Yes, so it's going to be mir. Sie helfen mir. Yes. So the verb decides, verb, if it is dative, then the object is also going to be dative. Verb nominative, if we have in that sense, it will be
पर्सनल प्रोनाउन
similar.
ये नाउन
Alright, so today you all are going to treat yourself well. Please offer yourself a chocolate. You have done a good job. Right?
रेस्ट में लाइट
Yeah.
ओके
Right? Yeah. So we call this category as personal pronoun.
वर्ब कॉन्जुगेशन वर्ब कॉन्जुगेशन
Why pronoun? Because they're replacing a noun. So that's why we call it personal pronoun. Sorry is S took me a light.
इसको बोलते हैं वर्ड
Yeah, entschuldigung is also there, which is excuse me.
वर्ड conjugation. कोई कोई वर्ब का
Yeah. So these endings is called verbs conjugation that we have just seen.
क्योंकि मेन वर्ड तो रहती है सेम,
Right.
मतलब उसका स्टाम तो रहता है सेम।
So this operation of the verb with E, S, T, 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 E, N, T, E, N, and E, N. This is called the conjugation of the verb. Verbs conjugation. At some times the verbs have special endings, but normally this is what you do. So this is verbs conjugation. Main verb stays the same, which means the root stays the same, and the endings they get changed according to the subject. That stays the same. So this portion stays the same. Machen, ich mache, du machst. So you would put mach in the root form, right? According to the subject we change it, right? Now one more thing I would like to tell you more. That is, this is ish mishme that we have learned. What about der, die, das, die?
दास का दास, दी का दी,
I'll write it down for you. Der, die, das, die. Dem, die. I'll repeat dem, der, dem, dem plus n. Then we have den, die, das, die. So the first and second is almost same. Den,
जैसे मान लो
die, das, die, die.
के साथ सीखेंगे।
The first one is different.
तो जैसे दास किंग है,
This is masculine, this is feminine, this is neutral, which is neutral, and this is plural. This is nominative, which means for the subject.
फाटर है, देयर फाटर,
This one is for accusative, and this one is for dative.
जो भी नाउन है उसको आर्टिकल के साथ सीखेंगे। जैसे देयर
For
फाटर,
example, if there is a word, any word that we will learn, we'll always learn it with an article.
ये फाटर,
So, das Kind, which means the baby. For mother, die Mutter.
दास किंग का मतलब है ये न्यूट्रल है, दास का मतलब ही ये है कि ये न्यूट्रल
Father, we have der Vater.
फेमिनिन है, और देयर का मतलब है ये मैस्कुलिन है। तो
So, any noun that we learn, we'll always learn it with its article, correct article, der Vater.
ऊपर से नीचे तक
Now this is father,
वाला ये दूसरा
das Kind
ये
for the baby, die Mutter for the mother, and der Vater. Das Kind, it shows it is neutral, das shows that, and die shows it's feminine, and der shows it is masculine. So this is
मैंने बोला
this first table for
यू, तो आपने क्या सीखा?
for der.
आई विजिट यू
The first table is for that.
बेजुखन थी वर्ड, बेजुखन
Right? The second table is for feminine. So the first table was for masculine, the second one is for feminine, and the third table is for neutral.
यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, ये जो इश है ये प्रोनाउन है,
And the last one that you see is for plural.
तो मैं ये भी बोल सकता था
Now if I say,
विजिटिंग, लेकिन ये
I visit you,
मैंने यहाँ पे
what was the sentence that we made? I visit you.
किया डिश, क्योंकि मैं जिसको डिश बोल रहा हूँ शायद
We said, besuchen is the verb.
यू हो सकता है,
So, ich
लेकिन
besuche
नाउन भी यूज करना चाहिए।
dich.
जैसे मैंने आई विजिट
Right.
किया, इसकी जगह मैं बोलूँ
Over here, what did I do? This ich
बोलूँगा
is the subject pronoun, right? I could have said Dev Karan is visiting, but since it's a subject pronoun,
मदर बोलूँगा तो
here again it is a pronoun, right? It's an object pronoun
बेबी, आई विजिट
because dish
कि मैं पापा को विजिट
is a person, maybe it's Ravi to whom I'm saying this,
अब मेरे को बोलना है
but at times we have to use noun as well.
आई
Instead of I visit you, I could say
द
I visit the lady. I'll take the word die, Frau. So,
इस बेजुक है,
for mother it will be die Mutter. I visit the baby. It will be das Kind.
ये जो दास
I visit the father, it will
ये
be
वर्ब आकुजाटिव थी,
der Vater, right?
तो इसलिए मैं
If I have to say, suppose
न्यूट्रल
I visit the baby,
आप ये मत सोचना कि मैंने इसको ऐसा कैसे उठा लिया,
I visit
कि दास
the
ये भी ऐसा ही दिखता है,
baby.
ये अलग बात है भाई, ये सब्जेक्ट में भी ऐसा ही
So it's going to be
भी ऐसा ही दिखता है। जब हम लोग कोई
Ich
तो आर्टिकल का फिर नॉमिनेटिव
besuche das
के कारण
Kind.
दास जो है ये आकुजाटिव लिया है हमने,
This das Kind
दिखेगा अभी देखो
is accusative, of course. So what do? I went to the neutral, and in that neutral I went to the accusative category. So don't think that I have taken it from the das Kind from this form, but it is actually from this table, and I've taken it from accusative and neutral cross, which is das. So besuchen, I've used das Kind, which is accusative case that you would get to know. I'll take another sentence so as to explain to you in a clear way. Now remember the verb helfen. Which category does it fall into? It is dative, right?
होगा कि नेम किंड होगा,
If I have to say, I help the baby, I help the baby.
सो डाटिव में देखो जो दास है वो
So it's going to
क्या हो रहा है,
be ich helfe,
तो डेम हो जाएगा,
and I would use
तो इस हेल्प है
yes.
डेम किंड,
Would I use das Kind or
इसका हमको देखना पड़ेगा,
der Kind or what?
तो इसने ऑब्जेक्ट को डाटिव बना दिया, तो डाटिव में उस वर्ड को तो क्या
Will it be das Kind or dem Kind? So the right answer is,
अगर मैं बोलूं
for dative case you will have
तो उसका नाम ही,
das in neutral, it becomes dem.
मान लो उसका नाम है,
So I would say dem. Ich helfe
मैं बोलूं
dem,
है,
dem Kind. Right, so in this way you have to understand if the verb is dative, so the object will be dative and that article has to be chosen from the list in the right way, right? If I say
दिव्या समझ रहे हो,
instead of dem Kind, I say someone's name.
ये डाटिव आकुजाटिव का नाम
Let's say if that child's name is Divya,
डाटिव ही है, लेकिन उसकी कोई अलग से झंडा लगा नहीं सकते हम लोग, वो तो
Ich
ऐसे ही आएगा, जैसे यहाँ पे तो
helfe.
झंडा लगा दिया अपन ने देख के टेबल में, लेकिन नाम की
So what do you think? Would I be able to put the name?
मैं ये बोलूंगा I help
Right?
suppose,
The
तो
name,
इसमें इश
I'm saying Divya, right?
दिव्य,
And for a name,
तो ये ऐसा
you don't have to worry about dative or accusative. You don't have to put an extra flag with that saying that it is dative or accusative. When it is kind, we did put dem, but for name there is no table as such. So I would write I help Divya.
रवि,
So I would make in German ich helfe
एक बार ध्यान से देखना सेंटेंस को,
Divya.
दिव्य एंड रवि दो जने
Right?
मेरी हेल्प,
Ich helfe Divya. So I would write it in the similar way. So for the names, there is no change. But if I write Divya, Divya and
ऑन रवि,
Ravi
तो सब्जेक्ट हुआ है अभी तक, लेकिन सब
help me.
दो मिला के,
And now please pay attention in this sentence. Divya and Ravi, both these people, they help me.
नहीं के लिए क्या करूं,
So how would I say this?
दिव्य ऑन रवि
I would say
मेयर आएगा, क्योंकि पर्सनल प्रोनाउन में तो इश मिश मी अवेलेबल है ना, तो मी का मेयर हो जाएगा,
so I would make
अगर मैं बोलूं
Divya
रवि हेल्प
und
देव का,
Ravi. This is the subject.
अगर मैं यहाँ पे मी की जगह
But subject is plural for two people. Divya und Ravi helfen. And me, what would I put for me? Mir. Right.
और कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा,
So that is mir. Because for personal pronouns, if you remember, ich, mich, mir, so it would be for dative mir. But if I said Divya and Ravi helped,
घर पे बनाओगे, अभी नहीं बनाओगे,
I take it in
आपको
present tense. Divya and Ravi help
लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे, आप लोग
Devkar. Let's say.
दो चार बार
So it will be
देखना है इनको,
Instead of mere, you would put devkara. So Divya and Ravi helpful, devkara. So in this way, if we have an article, we will deal it this way. If normal personal pronoun we have, we will deal it in this way. So I will write a few sentences on the board that you would do at your place. Even if you know it, please don't say it right now. So you will take it as a homework. On the weekend, you would practice it twice, thrice, 4 times, and you still would have perhaps confusions, but we would work on it. Right? So we'll take it. Yeah, there are tests on the weekends as well for the practice thing. But even if you have the weekend test on the application, don't worry, it has time as well. But for the moment, you would do it later. So you don't have to say anything. It's just the homework. I'm writing some sentences for you. So it's going to be, alright, I'm writing these sentences in English. You can see it on the screen. Alright. So these are some of the sentences. Okay. Then the next one. Alright. Another one. One more. This one. I'll write one more over here. All right.
ये सेंटेंस आपको बना के
Okay, this one and one more. Okay, so these are some of the sentences for you that you have to do in German. So we have got total 10 sentences. Thank you. So you have to make this sequence. All right.